Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today, the longest range castle in the game takes on the only bombard cannon that can actually outrange it, as Survivalist playing as the Teutons in blue gets ready to duke it out with MrPlanner playing as the Turks in teal. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings, which I'll get into in a second, and try to get their butts up to Feudal, most likely Castle Age ASAP. Not a bad time for us to remove the old fog of war and take a look at where we are today. Bada bing, bada boom, we are on Amazon Tunnel. I believe this might be the first or maybe just second time I've casted a game on Amazon Tunnel. If you're not familiar with this map, let's go over it very quickly, and then we'll get into the civilizations, because these are two OG civs that can pack a freaking punch. And on a map like this, especially on a closed map like this, I'm expecting the action to be fantastic. Now, everybody starts on one edge of the map, Survivalist on the left, MrPlanner to the right. Everyone starts with 3 patches of 6 gold. 1, 2, 3 over there, and 2 patches, I believe, of 4 stone. And there we go. 1, 2, 3 for Survivalist, and 1, 2, 4 Survivalist of stone. Then in the center of the map, you've got all of your relics, very conveniently located. And then you've got a bunch more stone and a bunch more gold. Not a lot, but enough to incentivize taking the center, of course, because resources, especially precious resources, do not last very long. Now, Survivalist already moving forward in the Dark Age to wall this area off, and can't really blame him for doing so, since 2 of the 4 central contestable resources, is contestable already? I think contestable resources are right next to his base, whereas MrPlanner doesn't really have anything right next to his base. He's got to go a little bit further in. Now, further in, obviously, it looks like 5 or 6 tiles here, 10 or 12 tiles this way. So not exactly the longest and most arduous of journeys, but Survivalist already blocking in extra stone, extra gold, and a relic for himself with a wall of MrPlanner making no attempt to do anything of the sort. And so on this map, if I zoom out, as I did in the beginning, you'll see lots and lots of wood. Lots and lots of wood, almost 1 million usually. Actually, let's take a look at the exact resources. A little bit less stone, I believe, than usual. Yeah, in 7,700. A little bit more gold than usual. Food on average, and wood pretty darn everywhere, omnipresent. So, like I was about to say, there are a lot of theories and a lot of ways to play this game, and there's a lot of opinions about the right and the wrong way to play Amazon Tunnel. Do you go straight into the guts? Do you spend a little bit of time cutting through the forest and trying to backstab your opponent? Do you place outposts everywhere? Do you just attack? Or do you just defend? Like in everything in life, it always depends on things, and it always depends on your play style. Has he not seen his 2 extra llamas? Okay, so Survivalist realizes there might be some extra llamas here. So let's take a look at those civilizations, because as I said, these are 2 OG civilizations, and I'm expecting some fun out of these 2, because like I said, they can both pack a freaking punch. Is he trying to push 2 deer at the same time? Our Canadian in Japan. There we go. All right, so let's take a look at the Teutons, a barroom brawler civilization designed to take a punch to the face and still stay standing. All of their barracks and stable units get free extra melee melee armor in the Castle Age, and then even more free melee armor in Imperial. Their siege units can be upgraded to get a big +4 melee armor boost, and their towers have extra space to garrison units inside, and therefore fire extra arrows. By the way, same goes for their town centers, which can garrison 10 extra villagers. Look at that, 0 out of 25. Compared to the usual 0 out of 15. Ooh, is that a villager? No, that is a scout moving forward. And by the way, if you can garrison more, you can fire more arrows. Now, speaking of arrows, the Teutons get murder holes and herbal medicine for free, so their units can heal super fast in castles while they're protected against annoying, pesky things like melee units. And speaking of those Teutonic castles, they can also be upgraded to come with +3 extra range, a fully upgraded Teuton castle, 13 tiles of range, and they can be upgraded in the same one. It's a twofer to fire arrows when garrisoned by infantry, which is a pretty big deal in Age of Empires, since for every other civilization, only villagers and archer units garrisoned inside a castle will add arrows to that castle. Now, all in the field of battle, all Teutonic units have a higher resistance to conversion, and if they're hurt, can be healed by monks from twice the distance, which is fantastic news for their unique unit, the Teutonic Knight, a super slow but incredibly powerful, heavily armored infantry unit. and to feed that Teutonic Knight, to feed their army, to feed their basically hungry hippos, Teutonic farms, well, they come in at a 40% discount. Instead of the usual 60 wood, they are cheaper than normal. Now let's take a look at the Turks, a civilization built around their love of gunpowder. Their gunpowder units are created faster, have extra HP, come with cheaper technologies, and some of their gunpowder units, including their bombard cannons, can be upgraded to get +2 range. So a fully upgraded Teutonic, oh my goodness, Turkish bombard cannon comes with 14 tiles. So like I said, you got the longest distance castle versus the longest distance bombard cannon on a map known for siege play, since it's such a constrained little area. So let's see if artillery, which is the name of the upgrade that gives +2 range to those bombard cannons, among other things. Of course, that also applies to cannon galleons, which I don't think we're going to see, and bombard towers, which we might see. Now, staying on brand, the unique unit of the Turks is the Janissary, a more expensive but less accurate hand cannoneer that comes with more HP, a better attack, and more armor, but unlike the hand cannoneer, does not come with any kind of bonus against infantry units. Now, to support their heavy but expensive units on the field of battle, the Turks can field some pretty decent supporting units in their own right. Their scout line units come with extra pierce armor. I'm going to highlight this guy 2+1 without having to research or pay for anything. Their cavalry archers can be upgraded to get a massive 20 extra HP, and their scout line units, back to this guy, automatically upgrade to light cavalry and then to hussars upon reaching Castle and Imperial, which is something on a closed map like this that I'm actually expecting to see Imperial Age fairly quickly, which does give Turks access to top-of-the-line raiding units, top-of-the-line light cavalry units without having to wait or pay for any kind of upgrade. And you'll notice that this scout unit, all of a sudden, once MrPlanner hit Feudal, is started moving a lot faster, higher attack, and better line of sight. That's just something that happens to scouts once they hit puberty, meaning Feudal Age, and then they become more mature, stronger, bigger. And that'll help afford their gunpowder units, which everyone who plays and watches and enjoys this game knows are quite gold intensive. Turkish gold miners do work 20% faster than normal. They get the chemistry upgrade free of charge, which not only saves them the resources, but 100 seconds of waiting time, which means the second the Turks hit Imperial, they can start fielding bombard cannons. And those free upgrades I mentioned, where this guy becomes a light cav, becomes a hussar, that saves the Turks 1,300 total resources, of which half is food and half is gold. 650 gold. It is not a small amount of gold. It is not, well, what's the expression? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Well, don't look at Turkish gold gift in the mouth. Those are the two civilizations we've got in front of us. Damage and gunpowder, boom, boom from afar, in-your-face brawler. Although, to be fair, in-your-face brawler that has siege engineers and siege onagers and bombard cannons. Not sure why it says free here. No, okay, they're not exactly free. 225 are the resources that they cost. And look at that, 7 villagers already on stone for our Turk, who is going to hit Castle Age first. I've been yabba-dabba-dabbing. What's the yabba? Oh my goodness. What's that Seinfeld episode? My ex came over and yada, yada, yada. I'm tired this morning. I've been yada, yada, yadaing over the last 14 minutes of this game as the players have built their bases, and we are now going to hit Castle Age. And the question is not if, but where is the Turkish castle going to go up? I mean, this looks like some pretty good high ground real estate right here for that castle. Just 10 more stone and 5 more seconds before he can actually place it. Let's see. He's got the stone. Is this actually on the high ground? I don't know that this castle is necessarily on the high ground here. Okay, doesn't really matter. Survivalist 8 seconds away from Castle Age. Once he hits that, instead of the free pierce armor, he's gonna get, there we go, 0+1 free melee armor. But he's fighting a light cav, and that means certain death. Fighting a light cav probably 90% of that time before he hit castle. And first blood drawn by our Turk, who is pressing in with a castle. Survivalist obviously saw that with his scout. Not too sure he'll see it with his infrastructure. Yeah, just outside the radius of the infrastructure. But the light cav saw it, which means he is now preparing a secondary wall off. The Turks are going to start pumping out Janissaries immediately to push through, bust through, and destroy this pretty flimsy wall off. I mean, it's palisades in a house. Forget the stone walls for a moment. This is mostly just, I mean, there's a blacksmith here as well. So Survivalist, secondary wall off. What's he doing back home now that he's hit castle? Extra TC next to the gold and the wood. Love it. 3 tiles away from the edge, which means he can fit a farm into here. And also here, beautiful TC off to the top left of his base. Our Turk just adding a second town center right now, having spent all of his stone on that castle and having spent all of his wood on this town center. He is in a little bit of trouble here in terms of wood count. He's only got 6 villagers on wood. We'll see whether or not that actually matters. For now, continuing to go, what? Monk play. He does have firm control of 4 of the 5 relics that are out on the map. I'm surprised his monastery is... Oh, goodness, it's a really far away. So, again, I was going to say, I'm surprised he didn't build a monastery here to at least train a monk. But then you have to build 2 monasteries, right? You get the relics. So, MrPlanner being very cautious, even though he's the one pushing in with the castle, busting through the first line of defense. Uh-oh. He expects perhaps to get pushed back. And so he's going to ferry the relics all the way back here, which means a lot less gold generation, because by the time this monk moves here and back and here and back and here and back 4 times, or at least 2 monks doing it twice, that's going to be a long time. And so the relic generation will be a lot less. And Survivalist says, hey, you know what's cool? Your 7 range. You know what's cooler? My 9. And so he's got to be careful. Any second now, these Janissaries can literally turn around. They move at a brisk pace. 1 tile per second. Oh, wait. Easy there. Monk has to make it home. Okay, so it will be 4 relics to 1, assuming our Turk can collect all of these. First monk is heading home. Second monk is arriving. And all right, Survivalists. Walls are now fortified. 1800 HP goes up to 3000. Armor goes up across the board. Outpost going up as well. And this is the moment where the Turks' lack of any kind of mangonel play, no onager, no siege onager, means that you can't really cut through the forest here. Whereas Survivalist are Teuton with that amazing siege roster. I mean, they're just missing siege rams. Can cut through any part of the forest he damn well pleases and wants to. And so he's advantaged in that regard, but we'll see whether or not our Turk allows this to happen. Down will go the blacksmith. I'm assuming a backup blacksmith is already up. Not really, and Survivalist not really investing in any upgrades at the moment. Neither is MrPlanner, to be fair, and now here we go. Some semblance of a military is about to be built. Survivalist is housed. I don't see a single house being built for him. Hello, Mr. Teuton. Third and fourth town centers going up for our Turk. This is going to be an incredible time to... Oh, now he just notices. And with only 1 villager. Oh, my God. He's going to be housed for like a minute. Teuton, Turk, town center, Teutonic Knight. It's all going to be very confusing for me. A tongue twister. And pardon me, not a third and a fourth. Oh, my goodness. A fourth and a fifth. A third is already up. So our Turk, even though he's got literally 5 TCs to 3, finds himself still at a villager deficit. Although once this next production cycle completes, he will be on equal footing. And after that, I expect his villager count to skyrocket. Survivalist placing his own castle finally. Housed no longer. He's got 20 population space. What is the name of the game here for our Turk? Neither player really seems to be banking any resources to go up to Imperial. Clearing up some infrastructure is nice, but you're kind of giving your opponent time to get into this. And so Survivalist playing a bit defensive. To be fair, he was the first to move out. So instead of walling off here, Survivalist could have just as easily walled off here and then played the old arena style matchup where he gathered all 5 relics very quickly in Castle Age, and he could have walled and double walled and triple walled, quadrupled walled, quintupled walled. He could have walled up the yin yang and let his opponent try to bust through while he took all the relics. But Survivalist played a little bit more defensively here. Ooh, easy villager. I love this deleting 1 wall segment, building a gate behind this, but he's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. Their accuracy is so bad, but they still manage to get it. 50% base accuracy. Still do manage to get the villager. And so MrPlanner takes the second kill of the game. His monks returning to the forward position. Should be 3 relics in here with a monk returning with a 4th here underneath the TC. House will fall, which means the last of the, let's call it critical-ish infrastructure here for Survivalist will fall as well. And what is this? Oh, the Teutonic taxi is about to move forward. 6 Teutonic Knights. No upgrades whatsoever. These battering rams at least upgrade. Oh, you can't upgrade them to capped. You are not human. So he needs to hit Imperial before he can do that. Bodkin just clicked in. And our Turk had his toe over the line. The sign clearly says, do not step on the grass. And your Janissary stepped on the grass. And that means Survivalist evens up the kill count. For a second, I heard the healing sound. I think it was for the monk. I thought it was somehow managed to find a way for a monk to heal a battering ram. And look at these two guys. They're on patrol sentry duty with their cool blue cloaks. Okay, that was just a flex by Survivalist. He didn't really need to garrison and ungarrison them. He could have just right-clicked and moved them here. But practice your micro skills any chance you can, I guess. And we are going armor upgrades for our Teuton. Unfortunately for Survivalist, unfortunately he's being attacked by a crocodile, but unfortunately for him, the Teutonic Knight is not a unit that comes out of a barracks. Ooh, I tried to catch him. I tried to catch him real good, but he, as slow as he is, I evaded my clicking. Because it's not a unit that comes out of a barracks. Did I see a spearman going through here? He does not get the extra melee armor in Castle Age +1. But this spearman should. There you go, 0+2, even though he's only got the old scale mail armor. The reptilian scale mail armor. Okay, so the Rams are inside. About to go outside. Our Turk, for his part, spent his resources going up to Imperial, which means he has 0 army to contest this. I don't even know if he's got a university. It doesn't look like he's got a university here. He is going archery range and stable for now. And of course, Survivalist doing what's best for Survivalist, converts a Janissary, but attacks from the north side of the castle, which means we are going to be watching shadows like Plato's famous cave story. We are here watching shadows, not the real thing. And Survivalist is moving in. This is incredibly dangerous for MrPlanner. He might just be in a lot of trouble right now, which is what he is. He's got to get this castle up. This one lazy bastard has to get his hammer out and start helping out, either on the walls to the left or the castle to the right. Here comes a Mangonel. Will he be able to shoot away the battering rams before they are able to destroy the wall segment? Okay, some of them run away. Monk dies. Kill count. Both have killed one villager of the opponent. Teutonic Knight flexing in his cape, ready for his runway walk. Like I said, in my opinion, the sexiest unit in Age of Empires, the most stylish of units in Age of Empires, just sassily standing there with his cape. Survivalist, FYI, has gone up to 4 town centers. He's got a university. Does our Turk have a university? Yeah, there it is. Okay, to be fair, I mean, aside from fortified wall, what do you really need out of that university? I guess treadmill crane and maybe murder holes. I guess you probably do need a lot. Now, the Bombard Tower, remember, I mentioned how Turks come with cheaper technologies. Bombard Tower is one of those technologies. I think Elite Cannon Galleon is also one of those technologies, but that's not something we're going to get to see this game since there is literally no water on the map. But I guess a university is necessary. You do get chemistry for free. There, where is it? Right there. Now that we are in the Imperial Age, Survival is getting redemption. Okay. So he's going to try to convert the one and only Mangonel. 1 Bombard Cannon. Where are you? Right in front of the Mangonel. 2 Cav Archers. That scout, by the way, has survived and has matured into a Hussar. And did... Okay, so no Sipahi, no 20 extra HP on the Cav Archer, no artillery, which means no extra 2 range on the Bombard Cannon. So both players are in build-up mode. We are in an arms race, and Survival is doing what I absolutely freaking love to see. He is gobbling up the riskier resources. He's got gold over here. More importantly, he's got gold back at home, but he is gobbling up this very, very scarce, very contested, very forward position gold. And by the way, with that tower, he did manage to see, I think the tower did go up. before it got destroyed by the bombard cannon. He did manage to see that there's a town center here, forward siege workshop, some infrastructure, and a castle. Well, the castle he saw before. Triple wall off. Although this looks like it's making room for a gate. Both players in Imperial Rams are about to get capped. Onagers, conscription, C, where you two-man saw, crop rotation, and there it is. There's artillery for our Turk. So in 29 seconds, did he get Sipahi? He did not get Sipahi, even though he is adding Parthian tactics to his cav archers. Now, cav archers are definitely one way to deal with Teutonic Knights. They're not fully armored. They're not elite, but they still have a massive amount of armor, 9-4 at the moment. And this unit does do a good amount of damage, decently mobile. And so against the much slower moving Teutonic Knight, cav archers here are pretty darn good. He's also adding a meat shield, which is basically free. What the hell is 80 food at this stage of the game? Another siege workshop in the forward position. Ooh, it looked like our Turk wanted to move out. Both players are heading into the 200s area. Our Turk hits it first. Survivalist 10 units away. Cavalier as well. Oh, let's see Teutonic Paladins. This is not a map where you really need husbandry that badly. It is not a big open map. And oh, Survivalist. A little bit too forward, though. A little bit too forward. And the Hussars who are going to raid gold miners all of a sudden discover that there's a sneaky sidestab attempt here. And let's see what happens. A few villagers are dead. Teutonic Knights are going to absolutely eviscerate this Hussar brood while Survivalist continues moving forward. I love that he only left a small group of Teutonic Knights. That being said, they are taking bombard cannons to the back of the head, and look at how powerful this unit is. Even a spearman joins in on the fight, gets 2 kills. These, as slow as they are, might want to move forward. Now you see here 14 range, but let's see it. Cav archers are moving forward to intercept not so much the capped rams, but what's definitely inside of it. Neither player having really fantastic military industrial complex here. Actually, never mind. Our Turk has 9 stables and 5 archery ranges. Okay, I take that back immediately. I issue a retraction, as one would say in the newsprint media. And now naked and exposed, no longer able to hide under the canopy of the ram. The Teutonic Knights are falling, but the Onager here to the bottom is going to get some villager kills if it ever fires. Okay, Survivalist more interested in creating pathways than killing villagers, missing an opportunity to maybe crush 3 or 4 more vills. His Onager falls to the cav archers. 2 more rams remain. So many Teutonic Knights wandering about, trying to chase villagers. Will he get this one Hussar? He does not get this one Hussar. Villagers now joining in on the fun. No real point in continuing to try to gather resources if there's a bunch of Teutonic Knights in the way. And so they're attacking rams. Rams that, to be fair, are going after a house instead of going after a more critical structure like the university. The last TK falls. The last ram falls as well. And Survivalist's attack, even though he thrust himself deep into MrPlanner's base, the actual damage done. 2 town centers, a good number of villagers, 42 dead villagers on the whole. But look at the numbers now. 74 army count to 7. I feel like our Teuton thought that was going to do a lot more damage than it actually did. And in the meantime, he's going upgrades. And he's going siege onager with siege engineers. Now, to be fair, bombard cannons with 14 range will be able to attack first. But if they attack and don't move, they are dead freaking meat. Survival is going up to 7 SOs, and this is a very closed off space with very little room to maneuver. His Teutonic scouts move forward. His Teutonic scouts die. Ooh, very close to getting pancaked by the siege onager, which again, to be fair, it's kind of being left alone here. But forward castle down. Looks like the bombard cannons are trying to snipe the siege onagers. Survivalists, I don't understand the movement with this one siege onager. It's kind of moving around left, right, center. And here we go. Look how clumped the Turkish army is. A few volleys from these siege onagers will absolutely flatten this. If ever there was a unit that can change the numbers in a game, the dynamic. And there it is. It's so hard to see for the second time. Not Survivalist, but MrPlanner taking a fight where we're only watching outlines and shadows. And look at the numbers now, all of a sudden. Somehow Survivalist is still in this. He had 7 army count. He's doubled that to 15, while MrPlanner is down about 20 to 30. Although, to be fair, the powerful units of our Turk are still around. The bombard cannons, the cav archers. I'm wondering if Survivalist is relying a little bit too much on siege here. Well, let's see. It'll roll forward. 14 range to 9 is not that great. Actually, I think I want to do the calculations after the game is over. Does the 14 range means the bombard cannon can fire twice before the SO gets into range? It might actually mean that. I'm gonna have to remind myself, if I do remember, to do the math. And halberdiers with a good amount of pierce melee armor, 5 melee armor, move forward. Excuse me. And now the paladin upgrade is coming out. Survivalist is holding the choke point, but to be fair, he's holding it because MrPlanner is not moving forward with his bombard cannons. If Teal moved a lot more forward, and holy moly, are you effing kidding me? 14 bombard cannons. Ouch. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. The good thing for Survivalist is he still has his back gold because he was mining that gold to the front, which means once that paladin upgrade kicks in, he might actually have enough resources to put out a good number of paladins. And there's really nothing in this army from our Turk that can take on paladins. Even bombard cannons are going to struggle against 100 HP. Somehow they're sniping as if they were Portuguese bombard cannons with arquebus. But here we go. MrPlanner moves forward. I like that he's using this avenue to shuttle in villagers and army. Hey, why the hell not? Survivalist made it, but I'll use it. And he's back up to 200 population. Survivalist barely at 166. He's ahead in the villager count for all the good that that's doing him right now, but he's just not able to replenish his army. I mean, that was a nice pancake here. But Survivalist is just not able to replenish his army count sufficiently. What is his military industrial complex? Like 7, 8 stables and 3 barracks. That's a problem. And here they come, slower moving. No husbandry for you. They're going after the bombard cannons first. They get one. You'll get a second one too. Does get a second. Okay, odd choice to attack that one wall segment. 3 bombard cannons, 4 bombard cannons, 5 bombard cannons. And this is what I meant when I said Survivalists needed those freaking paladins 10 minutes ago. Just a meager group of 4 or 5 paladins manages to clear up 7 bombard cannons. But the follow-up might be a little bit too much here for our Teuton. His structures are falling. Bombard cannons on the high ground. Hussars shoving in wherever the hell they want to. These cav archers might want to go a raiding right now. Although the Crenellation Castle here on the left with its ridiculous 13 range is keeping them pressed back. And our Teuton, who controlled a good amount of the gold this game, finds himself with barely any gold. And now he's just streaming in individual units. This is not good for Survivalists. At least clump up some of them. And no. Wow. Oh, well, I mean, things escalated real quick there. To borrow a meme from Anchorman. Things escalated real quick there. My goodness. But you see what only 3 or 4 or 5 paladins can do from the Teuton with that extra melee armor. Man, are they tanky against hussars that are chasing them. 7 bombard cannons in one small charge. Can you imagine if he had 10 or 15 more? The entire threat from the Turk could have been nullified with more paladins. Well, to be fair, more of anything. Who's kidding who? Halberdiers, ouch. This is not something you want to see. This is decent. This is not something you want to see. 186 hussars, 68, and the third most trained unit is that bombard cannon. Wow, PKPM right at the beginning, PKPM right at the end. So mirror opposites for our players. Economy, look at how close. Oh my goodness, if you remove the relic gold that MrPlanner got with 4 relics and the 800 from Survivalist, they're basically identical. Wow, our Turk, obviously, look at that. I thought Survivalist was doing a good job mining gold. Oh, yours truly is kind of embarrassed here. I thought Survivalist was going to do a lot better job here. 7,000 more gold. Although, to be fair, 2,300 of that is attributable to relics. So about 5,000, just under 5,000 more mined gold. And usually it's hard to out gold mine the Turk, like it's hard to out stone mine the Korean, for example, or outwood the Celt, or outfood the Slav, etc., etc. The examples can pile up, but man, oh man, did our Turk take that gold handily. Everything else going to our Teuton. A little bit more stone, a little bit more food, a little bit more wood, but the gold difference, mamma mia, 7,000. I mean, either of these civilizations are one that if you give them 77,000 more gold, they will basically use it to destroy you. There's that one Janissary that was converted. No, nothing else. 37 raisings to 14. Not that big. Not that big of a surprise, since it was our Turk who was pressed in initially. And again, should Survivalists have walled off this part? He was the first to move out. First mover advantage. Did he play too defensively, as Survivalist sometimes does? I mean, if this was Black Forest, or Rage Forest, as it's now cool, or all the cool kids call it, we would probably say he should have walled here. But instead, he walled here, meaning he didn't get that relic until later, meaning MrPlanner got it, and we got to see what a Turk with 7,000 more gold than his opponent can do. And that what the Turk with 7,000 gold more than an opponent can do is absolutely destroy, run amok. 37 kills for these 9 bombard cannons, but more importantly, the destroyed buildings. Cav archers, 80 kills. And at the end of the day, MrPlanner doesn't even up the villager kill count, but he's approaching it. Kind of evening up the total kills, 257, 237. Not that big of a difference, but what an absolute bonkers game. Let me know if you like Amazon Tunnel. I love the outpost placement here. There's no way Survivalist is going to be able to cut through anything anymore, although I guess you can go along the edge of the map if he really wanted to take a good amount of time. Survivalist, for his part, also has outposts on the left, no outposts on the right. Okay, I'm wondering why that is. Why did he add outposts here? Although outposts against the Turks, it's a bit of an odd move, right? I mean, what do they have that can cut through a forest? The trebuchet. Are you really going to cut through a forest with a treb? The Turks don't even have onagers. Glaring omission in their tech tree. And so, to be fair, do you really even need outposts? Doesn't really matter, bottom line. MrPlanner survives that ridiculous forest cut, even though he lost 2 of his TCs, lost 42 villagers after that. I think he lost a few before, but let's say around 40 villas with that push, those ridiculous Teutonic knights that just take 1,000,000 years to die. My goodness. And those TCs were not replenished because now you're at 122 population. Now the momentum is shifted. Now you're pressing out. And unlike Survivalist, our Turk has 12 stables, 8 archery ranges, 4 siege workshops. He's got more siege workshops than Survivalist. Oh, no, never mind. He went up to 7 barracks, so he's adding more and more infrastructure. And look at that, he's adding stables to the rear as well. And I love that he was taking the contested gold first, and then was left with his own gold, one of 3. Actually, I see a second patch here on the mini-map. Yeah, there's a little bit of gold still left here. 600 gold. I mean, this is 10 paladins, 9 paladins it pays for. So not a small amount of gold there either. The problem is it's under Turkish occupation. There's no gold miner there that is going to be able to work that quarry, work that gold vein without taking a bunch of Sipahi arrows. Did he get Sipahi? He did get Sipahi at the end of the day without taking that. And did Survivalist get Crown Allegiance and Ironclad? He did? Okay. So both players getting their both their upgrades. Ironclad being the +4 you see here, melee armor. Like I said, the Teutons are a brawler civ. It's all about the melee armor. It's all about fighting you right to your face. They don't hurl insults like Monty Python across a castle. Your father was a hamster, your mother was an elderberry. No, they are the bass-rootin' dang civilization that will take a beer bottle and shank you in the ribs. And that is exactly what they tried to do here with that initial assault. And even though he got the castle down, even though he got a good amount of damage done here, Survivalist just didn't have the follow-up after that. He was investing heavily in upgrades, but perhaps should have invested more heavily in units. We saw our Turk responding with 10 times the army count, and you just can't win in Age of Empires against an enemy who has 10 times more army than you, unless you get like the perfect siege onager shots, and that is very hard to do with a 14 range bombard cannon. So the last thing I do want to do is this, and bear with me if you've made it this far, thank you so much. This guy has 14 range. Siege Onager has 9. They move at 0.6 tiles per second. So to close those 5 extra tiles that they would need to reach, what's 5 divided by 0.6? Let's say 8 seconds. So the bomber cannon actually does fire twice because it fires at 6.5 seconds. Well, there you go. Artillery means that siege onagers, even with siege engineers, will take 2 bombard balls before they can reach and fire. If he didn't have this, it would be 12 range. It would be 3 tiles, 5 seconds, and then the onager would take a shot when it hits the 12 range and then fire before the BBC could fire a second time. But with artillery, it can actually fire a second round, a second volley, pardon me. That is super cool to know. Well, there you go. Siege Onager supremely screwed. I'm wondering if Survivalist should have trained his own bombard cannons, which, to be fair, according to this, are free of charge. I think these are just the upgrade costs. Yeah, I don't think these are the unit costs. But that would be funny, wouldn't it? If there's a civ that gets free bombard cannons, that would just be bonkers. But doesn't really matter. Our Turk holds strong against the Teutonic shenanigans, pushes back with a massive army, overwhelms the center, busts into the base, and is now killing unit by unit everything that Survivalist throws at him. And that is just a recipe for a GG, which happened here. MrPlanner takes the W, but GG to both players.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.